27 years ago, he watched from the bench. Today, his son finished the story. This is another great story about legacy. In the summer of 1995, Rick Brunson went undrafted in the NBA draft. As a point guard out of Temple University, he had solid fundamentals in a tough, physical game. But limited by his size and average athleticism, no team was willing to use a draft pick on him. Fortunately, the Philadelphia 76ers gave him a chance, a training camp deal. At the time, 76ers head coach John Lucas II liked the local college guard quite a bit. In the final days of camp, Rick had almost made the NBA. But the day before the regular season began, Lucas still cut Rick Brunson. After being waived by Philadelphia, Rick finally broke into the NBA in 1997, joining the Portland Trail Blazers. On January 21, 1999, Rick was traded to the New York Knicks. That lockout-shortened season, the Knicks entered the playoffs as the 8th seed in the East. Then came the miracle run. They shocked the Heat, Hawks, and Pacers as the first 8th seed ever to reach the NBA Finals. Rick was on that team, but his role was almost non-existent. He averaged just 2 minutes per game in the playoffs, spending most of his time at the end of the bench, watching his teammates battle. The Knicks lost to the Spurs in 5 games in the finals. Rick lived through all of it in a warm-up jacket. At the time, Jalen Brunson was just a 2-year-old toddler, sitting at Madison Square Garden in his mother's arms, completely unaware that the barely noticeable figure at the end of the bench was his father. Rick Brunson played for 8 teams in a 9-year NBA career, from Portland to New York, from Boston to Chicago, Toronto, the Clippers, Seattle, and Houston. Always moving, never truly settled. Across 337 regular season games, he averaged 3.2 points, 1.3 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. But you have to understand something. Every appearance behind those numbers was something he had to fight for in rooms where people thought he didn't belong. That toughness inside Rick, forged through going undrafted, getting cut, and being overlooked, he decided to pass down to his son. When Jalen was 15, he genuinely hated basketball for a while. Rick's solution wasn't comfort, it was pressure. On scorching outdoor blacktop courts in New Jersey, Brunson would keep shooting jumpers while Rick stood under the rim, talking trash to his own son. In 2015, Jalen enrolled at Villanova. In 2016, Rick sat in the stands and watched his son win his first NCAA national championship. In 2018, Jalen won another one. Then he was selected by the Dallas Mavericks with the 33rd pick in the second round, another overlooked spot. Undersized, short arms, not the ideal build, not especially fast, not especially explosive. Fate never misses a chance to be ironic. An underestimated son following the script of a father who got caught. Rick began his coaching career in 2007. He worked as an assistant with the Bulls, Bobcats, and Timberwolves. Then in 2022, fate completed the circle. He returned to the New York Knicks as an assistant coach, and almost at the exact same time, Brunson left Dallas in free agency and signed with the Knicks, a contract that would later be viewed as one of the greatest bargains in recent NBA history. Over the next 4 years, Jalen Brunson went from an overlooked player to an all-star. He transformed the Knicks from a perennial mess into an Eastern Conference contender. In 2025, they fell in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Indiana Pacers, but Rick watched his son score 40-plus points 5 times in that playoff run, more than anyone not named LeBron James, and he knew the boy had finally become a man nobody could ignore. Then came the 2026 Eastern Conference Finals, Knicks vs. Cavaliers. Game 1. The Knicks were down 22 points with 8 minutes left. Everyone thought it was over. Then Brunson erupted. He scored 17 points in the fourth quarter and overtime combined, leading New York to a stunning 115-104 comeback win. From there, it became a one-way beating, a 4-0 sweep, 11 straight wins to close it out. Brunson averaged 25.5 points and 7.8 assists, winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP. For the first time since 1999, the Knicks were back in the NBA Finals, exactly 27 years later. They can choose not to want you, but you can never allow yourself to not be good enough. Rick once said something half joking, half serious. Usually, the son wants to become the father. But now I want to become my son.